tell us a little bit how you got involved working for the Animas Corporation.
I was actually working in sports medicine, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes about 10 years ago, and big into exercise. And when I went on injections, I was using Humalog MPH, and I found that mostly the MPH was very difficult to control my blood sugars around exercise. Started doing research on the internet and found information about a pump, and I went on a pump, and I found that my exercise was much easier to control, dealing with blood sugars and everything. Met the people at Animas down at the AAD in Orlando. It was in '99 or 2000, and I found that people were very smart, energetic, and had a vision to bring pump therapy to the market, and it's been a happy marriage ever since.
So what's your sport?
Basketball junkie.
Is the pump, how's that affected your basketball playing?
Well, what it does is if I need to reduce the amount of insulin that I'm taking, I can do a temporary basal on my pump. Sometimes I'll do that leading up to it, but I found even before going on a pump that I had a lot of problems with low blood sugars after exercise. So now I can use a temporary basal for maybe 3 or 4 hours, up to maybe 10 or 12 hours, depending on how intense or how long I've played basketball. So I found that easier to control compared to injections, because once you inject, that's it. With a pump, you can back it down for a period of time. So I found it very helpful.
Okay, tell us what we've got.
Okay, this is the smallest pump with the biggest screen.
Really?
A lot of features. Sometimes, with patients, we talk to them about very simple features to use. It's easy as using an up, down, or an enter. And once you activate the enter button, it gives you an opening screen, tells you the time of day, tells you what basal rate you're on. So it also tells you the amount of insulin still left in your cartridge. Most of the time, patients are going to be using a bolus, so it automatically defaults to the bolus screen, and you can...
So let's pretend it's lunchtime and you need to take, what would you usually take at lunchtime?
It depends on the amount of carbs that I'm taking, but
A sandwich?
Yeah, if I take, a turkey sandwich, maybe with an apple, I will go to what's called Carb Smart, and I would just put in the amount of carbs that I'm going to eat for the day or for the meal. If my blood sugar happens to be a little high, I may then add my blood sugar in there for the calculation.
You put your blood sugar reading in?
Yes.
So you no longer have to think 2 units for the high blood sugar?
Well, absolutely not. Absolutely. I think a tendency is for most people, and I know I did this before going on this pump, is that you kind of guess a little here, guess a little there, and before you know it, you're off by maybe a unit or two, or 10 or 20 carbs, and that may be a low or high blood sugar. So this helps me fine-tune my management.
So for our readers, so the apple, you're thinking 15 grams of carbs.
Yes.
A turkey sandwich is 2 slices of bread for another 30 grams of carbs. So there's 45 carbs. And so you enter that?
Yes, and my insulin to carb ratio is 1 to 10. But not everybody is, that simple as far as the math goes. It may be 1 to 12, 1 to 15, 1 to 18. So if I'm taking 45 grams of carbs, it would calculate and say take 4.5 units of insulin. Once you put this in the setup menu, it works. You don't even have to touch it again. You may need to do checkups, whether when you go into your physician or educator, but you activate the insulin on board, so the pump knows to calculate that, and you find out what your number is. So you can go up as high as 6.5 hours. Or down to as low as 1.5.
This has been great. Thanks for coming down and demo the pump.
All right. Thanks for having me.
That was a good job.